Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Variety Sports Network. This is the Next Left Turn. Sorry for the delay this evening. I was having some internet issues on my end, but late's better than never. Aaron's back with me again, as always. Aaron, how are you today? What did you think of COTA, the new format on the shorter track? Um, buddy, you got lead tonight, so to take it away, bro.
I'm not doing so good. I think I'm done making picks. This is like the third week where I just am not hitting on my picks. But other than that, I'm doing pretty
Mr.
good.
KID.
So yeah, for real. So I actually like the new COTA. I liked how they don't have that long strip right there. What was it? It used to be turn, I think 19 or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it used to be
Too many.
like, which would hurt the cars because like you're doing all these turns, then you got like that straightaway before you went into turn one. So I like how they shortened it and they lengthened up the laps because it used to be 68, now it's 95, so that's fine. Like I'm cool with it. I did say in the preview a little short before we got started was 6A,
Another
turn
great
6A,
preview,
and
by the way.
that one was crazy. I thought there was going to be more accidents, but it turned out to be turn one. And of course, my guy, who is not sponsored by Hooters anymore, but Chase Elliott, already getting hit by Ross Chastain. So that was cool. Right off turn one, first lap. I was like, oh my God.
Manufacturing partner.
Manufacturing partner. Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
uh,
but I do like that Chase Elliott, he had like the retaliation on his mind, but it wasn't anything like he didn't do anything like serious to Ross Chastain. Like he was thinking about it because he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if it was really his fault." And then I believe it was Gustafson was like, yeah, no, you can hit him if you want." And paraphrasing. But before we keep going on the show, though, not shout out, but hopefully Brad Keselowski's doing okay. I saw an image of him getting carted off after the race. So I kept hearing that his power steering was failed, I think, with like 10, 15 laps left, and that his cold suit didn't work. So hopefully he's okay. Yeah, Fox wasn't going to show that at the end, but I saw a picture of it.
They didn't even make mention of it. I didn't even see that on X.
Yeah, I had to see it on Twitter, yeah. But as always, let's start off with that great first lap so we can see Chase Elliott getting bumped up.
It's a beautiful thing. Here we go.
Yeah.
Grand Prix gets the green flag.
Whoa! Hocevar, right off the bat. After all the conversation this week, right off the bat.
Okay, 5 wide. Whoa!
Beautiful.
Look out.
Woo.
Turn came diving up the inside. That was Ross Chastain, and he turned Chase around. Good grief.
It'll be like middle there.
Well, that's Gilliland involved too.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. You have to protect yourself in turn one, and Ross Chastain just went for a dive bomb move right there and just wiped out Chase Elliott.
Best part about road tracks, that spin happened, no caution, keep racing.
That's what I loved about this race. There had to have been 10 times where this has happened, this race, and they didn't throw any cautions out. Like we'll talk about it a little bit later, but there were just some moments I was like, oh, this is going to be a caution. And they didn't. I was like, yes, let's have them race. So that was cool. But what were your thoughts, though, on the first stage? It was actually pretty quiet, unless you saw things that I didn't.
I mean, it was quiet. I mean, we did have one instance where some rubbing happened and it wasn't appreciated and it was handled on the track. It was fine. I'll go back to the fact that I want to touch on the change in the track. I thoroughly enjoyed this race much more than I did last year's. I wish. No, I can't even say that. I think this is a much better layout for NASCAR. It's more fun. Stretch it out to 100 or 101 laps for me. Give me just a few more laps of this track. And then make the stages 25, 30, and then make the last stage long. So there's, competitive. You're guaranteed, should be guaranteed competitive green flag pit stops there. More of them, I should say. Aaron, I have come to a conclusion. I am done with stage racing. I absolutely hate it. It takes it's got all this other strategy in it, but it takes, in my opinion, more in-depth strategy and ability to adapt to changes on the fly. But when we didn't have stage racing, it just bugs me. I
Yep.
need the third stage to be long, and I mean real long. And the third stage should be 50% of the race, or at least 40% of the race, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never really been a fan of stage racing. I feel like the problem with stage racing is for certain tracks, which we've talked about last week with Atlanta, is they're doing more what's the word I'm looking for? It's like not fuel consumption, but they're trying to ease up on their fuel so that way they play that waiting game.
Yeah.
To make it easier for them down the stretch. And it's like, well, that's not really racing. If you're just worried about your fuel and you're taking it easy, it's like, what's the point of racing?
It's not an endurance race, guys. It's a 500-mile race. First one there. So this is, last year I guess it didn't bother me as much because I was relearning racing. I was really reintroducing myself into NASCAR, and it's something I'm just like, I don't like it about it. Like,
welcome to the boomer side.
They're airplanes. So they get a little exciting every now and then. But I thoroughly enjoyed this race last year. Where last year, I think I talked about how I didn't think the race was any fun. So no, I thought it was a good race. If you get rid of the stages or just make the third stage super long, I think it gets way better. But no, I thought this was a pretty good race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I got a little nervous as well because my underdog pick, Connor Zelich, had a little bit of a tire problem. So he was already, I believe he was 1 or 2 laps down after he got his tire fixed. So I was just like, oh boy, I am not doing well at all.
Well, speaking of cars having to get fixed and going laps down, this was a little bit of rubbing and racing that happened, I guess, coming out of, what is that, turn 15, 14?
Yeah.
It's over in that part of the track. I don't know exactly which turn it is. But just take a look. A little interesting here.
See a lot of smoke out of the right front car. That splitter's shoved back into the right front tire.
I didn't think he was going to make it
shot
around.
by Ty Dillon and watch the aftermath. Didn't like that. Going to repay it now.
I think Cindric's just kind of tired of getting bad luck with other cars having issues.
What looks to be
Smith
right there, that he got a little bit of contact right there with Ty Dillon as he sent him into the wall. And that's the chance that you take when you shove somebody off.
That's my take on that one.
And also, Ty Dillon just has bad luck. I don't even know why he's in the Cup Series.
I mean, I used to try to root for him and whatnot. I'm like, he's just not good.
No, he's absolutely not. But we'll end that with stage 1 because, again, nothing really too serious after that. Those situations happen. So, obviously, let's do the top 10 real quick. We got Bubba, number 1, won the poll. That was interesting, and that was an interesting strategy. I believe it was SVG took a pit stop because he would have won that stage, I think, with 5 to go. So, it was interesting that SVG did that instead of winning the stage. But, again, finished top 5. So, it was Joey Logano second. Then SVG third, Kyle Busch. We're going to talk about him a little bit later. Was fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, Tyler Reddick sixth, Kyle Larson seventh, and I was like, yes, I have a guy in the top. William Byron 9, and AJ Allmendinger 10 to round out the top 10 right there, stage 1.
The most impressive part in stage 1 was the fact that Chase Elliott got in that incident in the first turn, got dropped all the way to the back of the field, and he just played good strategy to get all the way back up to 5th by the end of stage 1 to get those stage points. I mean, Chase Elliott is one of the best drivers in NASCAR. I don't care who you are, what you think. If you tell me I'm wrong, I think you're an absolute fool. I don't think he's Kyle Larson by any means in ability, but he is one of the best stock car drivers in the world.
And he's really good. He's really good at road tracks like this. And all that. So I wasn't surprised that he came in 5th, but after that first lap, I was like, how is he going to recover for it? And he did a really good job recovering from being all the way down.
If you're into an incident, get into an incident early.
Yeah, exactly. Especially on this track, because we've seen it all this race that if you're behind even 5 seconds, it could be over. We're trying to get into the lead, but We're going to go into stage 2. And I forgot to do this for stage 1. We'll do it for stage 2. All right. This is where things get a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
In stage 2. So what were your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it was a little more interesting. You had a little more action. It's not like we got loaded up with cautions and whatnot. I mean, it wasn't a ton of action, but you had some passing. SVG was up there most of the way. Bush was up there for a little while. It was mostly just those two back and forth, really, for the most part, outside of, a little bit of cycling here and there. It was rather dull, but I mean, you had the same strategy at the end of stage 2 that they did at the end of stage 1, where SVG, is up there, and the only difference is this time almost everybody comes with him to pit lane instead of him coming in a smaller pack. So, I mean, Ryan Preece benefits because he knows he can't win the race, and the team keeps him out there to the stage points. I mean, other than that, I wasn't blown away by stage 2.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really happened in stage 2, I believe this was the Kyle Larson tire. I believe it was in stage 2.
I thought it was stage 3.
Was it stage? Oh, you're probably doing better than me. I thought it was stage 2.
I just thought it was because I thought I saw it live, not when I was replaying.
Yeah, I know he was behind a few laps in second stage because he finished dead last, I believe, in the second stage. So that was a little bit interesting, and that's where my nerves started coming in. But
dang, maybe that was I don't know. I got a clip of it though. You want to show it?
Yeah, I might as well. Since we're talking about it.
Might as well. I got a clip of it. Don't matter. We may be out of order. Here you go. Oh, there goes the tire.
And what was good about this, no caution.
Those tires lock on there, and
exactly.
And sometimes
look at the tire roll the whole way.
It's hard to identify what's going on. If it's one of the rear wheels, you'll feel the rear end start to shift around.
Oh, I thought it was a little longer clip. So they actually show the tire end up going all the way through, and it ends up in another part of the grass out on the other side of the track. It's kind of funny. I don't know. You might be right. You're probably right. That probably was stage 2.
Also in the stage, how did you feel about any of your picks? Obviously, you picked SVG to win it and Austin Cindric as your dark horse. So in stage 2 with SVG, because he wasn't like dominating too much on the track, like he was holding his own. But do you feel like the strategy that he had in stage 2 was going to affect him long term, stage 3? Because he is good at these kind of tracks.
I didn't think so originally. By the end of stage 2, I was like, I don't know if you played that right, sir. And it didn't seem to bother him in stage 3 because I thought maybe it just was going to run the car too. It was just too much wear and tear on the car, I thought, in my opinion, for what these cars go through at these tracks. The way they cut turns and they bounce all the time. And I don't know, man. And I still felt good. I felt good going into the stage 3. I mean, I felt good with 10 laps left, and then everything kind of fell apart. So, no, I felt like I was in a good place. Cindric, on the other hand, Ford had a really rough time in qualifying. They didn't really run great all day. But I thought maybe he'd get up there with a strategy move at the end where he pit before everybody else, or he stayed out and caution came out or something. I didn't know. I was kind of neither here nor there. Like I said, Cindric was a long shot for a reason.
Yeah, I definitely felt like the Toyotas were really dominating in this one, in the second, at least in the second stage, and a little bit in the third near the end of the race. But I was not concerned, but like AJ Allmendinger, I didn't really hear much about him, and he's really good on these tracks too. So I was like, where is he going to finish? Like top 10? Is he like that much of a dark horse? Is he just waiting? Yeah.
I think it's the car there, man. I think it's the team he drives for. Because he is historically a very good driver on road tracks, and that's where he's made it his name in NASCAR.
Yeah.
So
I think there were. think there was only one caution in the second stage, if I'm correct on that. I'm just trying to figure out who it was
I checked
because
my notes.
I don't believe it was anyone like too serious. But I will say though, in the second stage, going into the third, Noah Gragson spun out a little bit. So I was like, oh, that's a tough time for Noah Gragson in the 4 car because I felt like he could be a good driver, but he's just not that great on this track. But I know also too, Ty Gibbs had a bad one too in the second stage. So I believe
I don't see any cautions in my notes for the second stage.
Oh, maybe then everything. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. It was actually the beginning of the third stage.
Third stage
when this happened, when everything started going down. So I was just going down with the top 10 in the second stage because again, nothing really crazy happened. Just again, SVG, Kyle Busch, I believe it was also William Byron and Christopher Bell. They all pit with like 4 laps to go in the second stage, which made Ryan Preece the winner of the second stage to collect some points. Ryan Blaney second, Michael McDowell third, Kyle Busch fourth, Champion Gisbergen fifth, AJ Allmendinger sixth, William Byron seventh, Bubba Wallace eighth, Christopher Bell ninth, and Daniel Suarez 10th. So let's go into the final stage because this is where everything went down, and of course it wouldn't be a NASCAR race up the third stage. It's going absolutely bananas. So let's get into it. All right, so we're going right into the third stage. This is where everything's going down. Give me your thoughts on all these cautions that were coming up.
I mean, necessary, I guess, at times. I think they're when a car gets stuck in the dirt, you can't let that one go. You kind of got to get that car out. I don't know. I think they do a pretty good job. I mean, the accident between Suarez and Zilich, no option there.
Oh, we're gonna start off with that. Okay, let's start off with
I'm not starting out there, but you're making me go
caution.
through all of them, and I'm like, at least 3 of them were justifiable, I guess.
Yeah. I think we have a clip of that one.
Maybe
so
4.
let's roll that Suarez.
Hold on, which clip do you want first? Suarez and Zilich?
Suarez, Connor Zilich, because I will say that Connor Zilich was having a really good race in the third stage. He moved up to 14th at one point. He was down 2 laps in the first stage. Once the caution came out, he started moving up to 20th. He was 23rd at one point. Then he was up to 14th. I was like, yes, this is the underdog I'm looking for because he was the Xfinity winner on Saturday.
Yep.
But then this happened.
Coming off 19. Fender's torn off.
Too. And that will put us under caution. The first one for cause today. Is that
that's
Connor
Zilich.
There you go. First one for cause.
So caution at lap 51.
He's into them barriers pretty hard.
Yes, he is.
Daniel Suarez with a lot of damage.
Smoked.
That was a really good race car.
Zilich with more.
Ran up front all day in the top 5. Zilich was just crawling back up
Come
there.
on.
And the problem with this too is you're going to see with Daniel Suarez, he takes the turn on the 15 right there, and because of that little candy cane, it looks like a candy cane type on that turn. When he went up onto that turn, he went up onto the pavement, which caused that bump for him to kind of swerve. And I really could think that Connor Zilich could have avoided this, but
no, he said on radio that all he could see was smoke, and the team was like, "Hey, there's nothing wrong." He was victim of the situation.
Maybe it was just a fan point of view.
Well, see, you told me that's who you were picking, and I was like,
that was my underdog. Yeah, like, he was doing well. He was 14th. He was moving up.
I was like, hold on, why did he pick him? And so I was like, because I didn't even catch the Xfinity race.
Also too is Connor Zilich when he came up last year, he won Watkins Glen in the Xfinity. Right. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then I heard he was going to be in the Cup Series for COTA, and I was like, you know what? That's an underdog because these guys know what they're doing up here. You know what I mean? Like these are the big boys. Xfinity, yeah, there's some, but not like in the Cup. So I was just like, yeah, that's an underdog. And he used to race karts over in Italy, and then he did a little bit of ARCA last year as well before he became with JRM Motorsports
And
last
he's
year.
18.
So.
He is 18 years old, and he's already done all this.
Yep, he was riding karts, I believe, at 12 or 13. He didn't even have his parents overseas. He wasn't even going to be a race car driver, let alone NASCAR driver.
Right. I mean, this is a story to watch as he grows and develops, and we'll see if he's the next great one. We'll find out. Is he the next Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon?
That's some big shoes to fill, but
I mean, Larson looks like he could be the next one in that area.
I feel like Larson's going to
Potentially.
be, I feel like Larson's going to be like the next Tony Stewart, but just like a little bit better.
See, I don't know if he'll be better.
Just a little. I'm not saying a lot. I just think the work ethic that Kyle Larson has is the same
ridiculous.
as Stewart's. Yeah. Racing every day, no matter what, doing what you need to do, driving in dirt, driving on tracks, karts. I believe he was on the car. I think he did the Cars tour like once or twice. He did the Chili Bowl this year.
He does Chili Bowl every year, man.
Yeah.
He's trying to do the double this year again.
Yes, we will be definitely doing a show on that. So
we will be covering the Indy 500 again this year.
But speaking of Indies, real quick, shout out to Scott Dixon. Had no communication in his car whatsoever the entire race. Finished second today. I watched the whole thing.
It's Scott Dixon, dude.
Yeah,
legend.
I just couldn't believe it. He was just like, "Yeah, I just kept racing." I was like,
and I'm not a Dixon guy. I mean, I all respect and love for him. I'm not a big Dixon guy. I like him better than some other drivers, but no, dude's an absolute beast.
Yeah, that's some GOAT tier level right there, especially at St. Petersburg. I couldn't believe it.
That track is nuts. I did get to watch part of that today, a good portion of it. It was a good race.
I like what Fox did there, that they made it so that you could watch both. So I just kept it on Fox from 12 o'clock on. So
yeah, that's what I was doing too. So I'm with
you. Yeah, but bringing on back. So we won't talk too much with the third. We'll kind of just go with like the revenge tour, if you will. So obviously last year, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch got into it a little bit. Last year, where Bell kind of pushed up on Kyle Busch, even though Kyle finished second, I believe it was last year. So this one and this year, Kyle Busch, he was leading, I believe, 45 laps.
Dude, he was out there forever.
Going into it, he had great plans to go for green light pits. Pretty much leading for most of it. But the problem was he grabbed his tires too late. Because I believe it was with 36 to go. He had his tires already. He already had brand new tires. And then you had like the SVGs and the Christopher Bells and all that. About like 6 laps later, all started grabbing up new tires to get ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
no, I agree with you. I think I thought he went and pitted way too early. I was like, why? Like you've been up front long enough. You don't need the positioning that bad. What are you doing? And I thought he'd come back to bite him in the butt. And it almost didn't.
Well, actually, it actually did bite him because I believe this was the Ty Gibbs caution with, I believe it was 25 to go, 20 to go. No, that's fine. It wasn't anything crazy. He spun out, created a caution, and Kyle Busch's crew chief was like, if only that caution didn't pop up, we would have been in really good shape. But because that caution popped up, all the guys who already had fresh tires, they were good to go. While Kyle Busch, who was leading it when that caution happened, stayed on the lead lap, didn't have fresh tires. So that we're gonna see how far he can push his tires. And he was pushing as hard as he could.
And he did a great job for as long as he did.
Yep. And just checking really quick what I was thinking of. Because again, another caution came where we had a little Austin Dillon going into some kitty litter. Now, I think this was, people are going to say Denny Hamlin's brakes went and then hit into Austin Dillon. I think it was revenge from last year. He just wanted to do it at this track on Austin Dillon for what Austin Dillon did to Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano last year. So,
well, here we go.
Oh.
I mean, that's just.
And you can see Denny Hamlin's back tires. They're not even moving when that happened. So his brakes definitely went.
The funniest part here was that's Austin Dillon, by the way. I thought you said Ty Dillon, so I was like, hold on, what?
Oh no, I think I said Austin, but I couldn't.
Anyways, the funniest part there was that he got stuck in the rock, right? And he kept spinning tires. Did you see what happened when they came back, when they got him out of the rock?
All the rocks are coming on the track.
Rock was all over the track, so you had like 2 extra laps of caution because they had to come out with these big sweeper trucks.
Yep.
And they had to get all the rocks off the track. And I was just like, dang, and the rocks just kept coming.
And who does that hurt the most? Kyle Busch. What? I'm not sure what's going on with Kyle Busch. I don't know if he just hit the bad luck bug, because this also hurt him as well with trying to stay on the lead lap without getting any tires. So
yeah, it definitely just didn't pan out for him. He's a 20-year vet, man. He has an experienced crew chief. Is he that desperate for the win?
Absolutely.
I mean, has he literally gotten to the point that he's this desperate and he's lost faith in his ability? Or does he just lack that much faith in RCR and the team?
I don't think he would have lacked too much faith. He wouldn't have signed that 3-year deal with RCR.
No, I agree with you. I'm talking about at this point, has he lost all faith in the team to where he feels like he has to push everything to the edge if he feels like there's even a chance?
I mean, you even saw it last year where he was pushing to the edge and someone would knock into him, or it was just like a stupid bump and then it would be a caution. So it's just like, I just think he's toned down a bit ever since his kid started getting into racing. I think he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to be competitive, but I don't want to get hurt for the situation that I can't see my kid grow up. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Because this isn't the same Kyle Busch with the M&M's 18 car. Or even Kyle Busch at Hendrick.
No, not even close.
So I that's my theory. I think it's just kids. Dang kids.
Ruin everything.
But with about, what was it, like 10 laps to go, we see the number 20 car getting real close to Kyle Busch. Like, it was, I believe, what was it, Kevin Harvick saying that he was getting so close, he might as well be in Kyle Busch's trunk, if you will, even though there's really no trunks in NASCAR. But
that was the feeling that was conveyed, yes.
Yeah. So with about, I believe it was 5 laps left, C. Bell makes that turn on turn 2, which Kyle Busch was having trouble with the whole race. You saw Christopher Bell go on the inside, take it from Kyle Busch, and then all of a sudden Kyle Busch just started dropping like a fly. His tires were done. You could see him sloshing a little bit, so there wasn't much traction on it. Christopher Bell comes in. William Byron, smart strategy, was behind those two, so that way if whatever was going to happen, he could sneak on in, because he was only about, I believe, 2 seconds off Kyle Busch at that point with 5 laps left. And I know you texted me because I know how happy you were with William Byron getting that back-to-back win. Or
I
not
was
back-to-back
like,
win, but
oh,
win 2 out of
no.
3.
I was like, not again, man. This dude
Uh.
sneaks in the back all the time.
I will say though, for someone who's not good at tracks like this, Christopher Bell did a very good job holding his own. And shout out to Christopher Bell's wife for really like acting like she was in the car, trying to get him to pass Kyle Busch and then just secure the win. That was great.
She's down for the cause, man.
She knows he is strictly racing.
Oh yeah. I mean, so you know, he just hasn't won at one of these before, but he's usually there. He's usually there at the end. He's competitive. So I've always felt like he was due, especially after last year and how last year went down. And I think he's the next man. Honest to God, I think Christopher Bell is the next big thing in NASCAR.
I can see that. He's basically Kyle Larson, but without kids.
Yeah,
he doesn't do social media like that. He's always about racing. He was also in the Chili Bowl this January.
Very similar.
Yeah, he's just not as like arrogant as Kyle Larson.
Exactly.
I guess that's the only thing with Christopher Bell.
I mean, I've always liked him, but he drives a Toyota.
We don't like Toyotas.
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
They're okay.
I'm really not happy that Honda or Nissan is rumored to be bringing a car in. I was almost off topic. Sorry.
No, you're fine because other than that, nothing really happened. I mean, Tyler Reddick was getting close, but not too close. So Seabell captures a second win back to back since 2018. Kevin Harvick.
Since we're just keep talking, I'll try to keep the volume down on this. Why we just show another clip? Yeah, volume's off. You can talk. He was going for the pass and he overdrove it.
Right there.
And he still ends up beating Byron back. And this is with 4 laps left?
It was like 4 or 3. Because right there on that turn, he got it. Boom.
So that was a good clip. Sorry, I interrupted you. I told you to keep talking.
No, you're good. So obviously Seabell gets the win. Byron second. Tyler Reddick third. Chase Elliott coming from 34th at one point to 4th. Kyle Busch in 5th. SVG 6th. So obviously you beat me on that one because that's the closest any of us got. But here it is right here with Seabell bumping a little bit on Kyle Busch.
Here comes Byron.
Sorry, I was trying to get the volume down. I was going to play it while you talked.
This is more important.
You put yourself at risk of getting a penalty through the S's.
And you can tell it's 6A. And what the problem with that 6A all day was that there were drivers hitting each other that were teammates. Well, that turn pretty much created everything from chaos. And then you showed it right there.
Right there, that barrier, man.
Boom.
I kept waiting for somebody to smoke that barrier all day long. I wanted to see it happen. I wanted to see somebody just clip it with the left front and then just see the car turn and then just see half the field get stacked up behind it.
Well, I think it's because they knew that it was there, so they were going. It had to have been at least like 50 or something taking that turn because they are all pretty conservative on the 6A. It was the turn 1 that was the biggest thing that I really didn't think of. Just because as soon as you took that turn, you could go 3, 4, 5 wide at one point. You could definitely hit into each other, which happened besides the Chase Elliott, I think 2 more times.
Oh yeah,
in that. So
this is the pass for the win. This is Bell getting around Busch, coming down the quote unquote stretch.
Yep. As soon as Seabell took that turn over Kyle Busch right there, it was over.
See, and I thought he was going to get the crossover here. I thought that's why he stayed wide instead of pinching him down into the turn. I was like, oh, he's going to cross him. And then Byron came out from behind, and I was like, oh, Bell's gone, Bell's gone, Bell's gone. And I was like, oh, he's going to get 2 in a row. He's going to get 2 in a row. And then Busch just, at that point, Busch had burnt his tires.
Yeah, that's when the tires were going, and he was a little bit wobbly. He was done.
Yeah, it was over for him at that point.
But fifth though is not bad. But obviously, you wanted to win.
Right, I'd take that all day long. I mean,
yeah,
you need the point. I mean, if he doesn't win, he has to go on the fact I haven't won basically in 2 years. I need every point I can get. Stages are how I'm going to make the playoffs. That's the strategy. If I'm him, that's the strategy I'm taking this year. I put myself in position to be there at the end. So if there's a chance, I can have the opportunity to win. Stop trying to race for the win, Kyle Busch. I'm not saying don't race to win. I'm saying race to be in position to win.
Yeah.
Be there at the end because what? Half the races now, we have a restart with 10 laps or left. 10 laps or less left in the race. At this point, it's about being in position with 10 to 15 laps to go, not winning everything out. And I mean, winning the stage 1 and stage 2 points, I mean, those will obviously help at playoff time. So maybe that's a strategy he should just adopt and see how that works for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll come. I think he'll get a win sooner or later. Maybe if he doesn't try too hard, maybe he'll get the W. But who knows? But speaking on that Honda point, from what I've heard, I believe it's 2027. There should be a Honda car coming.
What are they going to bring? The Accord?
I don't know. They're bringing something, but I think it's going to be in the Xfinity. I think they're going to put something in Xfinity first, see how it rolls, and then go from there. But I also heard Dodge. I also heard Dodge might be coming back too.
That would be awesome.
That's another rumor that I think is going to happen.
Do you want the Charger or do you want the Challenger for the body? I want the Challenger this time.
Yeah, I think it's time to do a Challenger.
I think it would look.
I was gonna say the
awesome.
Charger, but you know what? That's been up and down anyways in the NASCAR world. So let's see what a Challenger can do. I did hear Dodge might be coming back though. They might be coming either in 2026 or 2028. They just need to figure everything out.
Dude, come on back, boys.
Car wise, and they'll be back soon too. I kept hearing that as well.
I'd be fine with that. Like, I just had this conversation with my dad. My mom and dad came over today and watched the race. We celebrated Mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. But I asked Dad, I said, didn't it used to be where there were a ton of different manufacturers in NASCAR back in the day? And he was like, well, at different times they kind of rolled in and out. And I was like, okay, I'm just curious. I said, well, I don't know why we don't have more manufacturers. And we had a small conversation about it. But I think it'd be great if we had 5 manufacturers. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, because wasn't there a lot in like the mid 70s?
That's why there had to be. Because I know at some point you had Buick, you had Chrysler, you had Buick, you had Plymouth, you had Dodge, you had Ford, you had Mercury, Chevy, Pontiac. Buick even had a race car for a while. So, and obviously there's a lot of GM branched vehicles. I'm sure they weren't all GM back then. They might have been. I don't know. I'm not that old.
Neither am I.
And I haven't done the research. So I'm if you know, hop in the comment section and let me know. Because I'm kind of interested. But no, I think it'd be awesome. But I mean, what would I don't even like the fact that Toyota's using a Camry. Like, I like the fact that they use the 86 or whatever that little sports car is in Xfinity. I think that thing's cool. Like, why don't you adopt a bigger version of it and put that in NASCAR over the Camry?
That
I
they
didn't like
should
it
do
when
something
Ford
different.
used the Taurus. I didn't like it when Chevy used the Lumina.
Oh God, yes, the Lumina. I forgot about that.
Like, it's racing, guys. Give us race cars. give us the models that at least can look like race cars. I love that Chevy does the Camaro. I love that Ford uses the Mustang. Dodge, bring back the Challenger. Toyota, you need to switch to something more racing-like. And whoever else comes in, make sure it's a sports car. Muscle car. You don't have muscle from foreign cars, so bring us a sports car. Sorry, that's my grind my gears this week.
We'll end the show on that. Phoenix next week.
Dude, I'm excited for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be a gauntlet. So we got Phoenix, Vegas, Homestead, Miami, Martinsville, and Darlington,
and
Bristol.
Thunderdome.
Bum bum bum. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be some intense racing right now.
Lots of videos, hopefully, for the next 6 weeks, guys.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, enough videos where I don't even have to speak. I just basically am showing you the race bit by bit in video form.
Well, if it's anything like last year, it'll definitely happen.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
But on that note, make sure you guys subscribe, download, do whatever you need to do. Hit the little bell button. It goes ding for Variety Sports Network. Make sure you like this show right here. For the next left turn, we're trying out different things, trying the beginning of the season, see what sticks, see what everybody likes, put it down in the comment section, what you would like to hear. We'll go from there. Value your opinions. And always. So we got right over here, Josh Edwards is also doing the 7th inning stretch. Check out those shows. The 5 hole. Check out that hockey show.
Saturday mornings.
Yep, Saturday morning. Sometimes Sundays. It kind of just depends.
You got the fast break that's covering the NBA now.
Yeah, brand new show.
Yeah, Saturday Showdown's going to have stuff coming back here in the off season here and there. Talking the Gridiron's going to have stuff here and there. Check out their X accounts. That's where they're the most active right now. But we got a lot of great content coming out here. 7th inning stretch is really hitting their stride. We got guests from all over coming on 7th inning stretch right now. And I'm not just talking about our little community of friends we have that we built over the last 4 years. We're getting all kinds of new people in. We had the guys from Daily Walk Off on last week. Super cool. Check that episode out. Play Daily Walk Off if you're a baseball fan. There's my bit.
Yep. And last but not least, do it for Dale. But that's been the next left turn. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.